I'm recording this
Boom,
because
boom, boom.
we need to let people know what I did.
Well, we got to do an intro also.
I know this is the intro, but I messed up at the very end where we usually say goodbye to people and we keep our guest on the line.
Yeah, to kind of.
I hung up on everyone.
That's okay. Like you said, Steve, it's this time you get the hat.
I get the hat of the asshole.
I mean, if you think about it, though, it gave Tony some time to get some feta cheese. I went to the bathroom. It was good.
I was converting a file and I was dude. I jumped on the phone with Tully. I'm so sorry, man. I was I felt like shit. I felt bad.
I had a feta cheese pie from the Greek bakery from down the street.
Wait, you got a feta cheese pie?
Yes.
What is that? What is that? And it sounds delicious.
Well, I don't know its Greek name, but it has I can't pronounce it but we're the super high end Greek pastry bakery place down the street,
So it's a pie with feta cheese with a crust?
Yeah, it's like a fia dough, and it's got the feta cheese in it.
Oh, it has the fila dough, the nice crusty buttery.
It's really not healthy, but goddamn, it was good.
Yeah. Cheese is healthy. Cheese is healthy. Butter is healthy. It's healthy. Come on. I say while we're in this pandemic, it's pretty much anything goes. I'm eating whatever I want to, drinking whatever I want to. It's all healthy.
Nice.
It's brain food. All right, we need an intro. Who wants to take it?
Tully.
Yeah, do that. I'm still flustered because I totally hung up on everybody. Tony, you do the big bottom intro. You do it.
Hi, we're the Big Bottom Group. Here we are. Tony Paleo here, and with us we have
Steve Arajo.
Moody.
John. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, John Moody.
Steve Arajo. We can't have nice things.
Can't have nice things. But Tony, tell us who we got today.
We have Tully with us. So
Tully Kennedy.
Tully Kennedy, man. He's I never met him before. I didn't know him, but you guys knew him a little bit better.
Yeah.
Super rad. Tully Kennedy, super rad guy, man. Super rad guy. Very cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, talk about experience, road recording, Nashville.
It was cool hearing the whole how he approaches the recording thing, how it is down there and stuff. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that someone who's been playing with that long is using the numbering system. Normally, I wouldn't expect that. I would expect that for like a new artist in off the street or someone that they never rehearsed with.
No, that's
about the numbering system for like a guy you've been working with 20 years,
No, but that's how they do charts out there. I do sessions for them and they send me number charts.
I mean, I know the numbering system too.
Yeah,
so, but I was just surprised in the band situation
but that's how they.
Oh, because they've been working together for so long.
That's what shocked me. Yeah.
But instead of like a music chart written out, they get number charts. That's how. Mm-hmm. So how we would get a piece of written music, treble clef, bass clef, they get number charts instead. That's the norm there. That's how they.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so but he's been with them, and then it was he kind of touched on the tragedy from Vegas. He was there on stage, like I didn't obviously not delve too much, but that's heavy, and I'm glad
sure
that, all those guys are okay, and obviously just devastated for the losses. Anyway, so we covered some good ground, man. He's a good dude, super fun,
a really good guy.
Yeah.
Been around like Road Dogg,
knows his shit when it comes to basses. He wants to do another one where he said he's got a bunch of vintage basses. Ooh,
sweet.
So
we could do a big bottom show and tell.
Ooh, you know how we love that.
Yeah.
We always oh, hold on.
Yeah, like we need an excuse for that.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
We also have to talk about we're brought together today by.
We are sponsored by a couple of people, right? Tony.
Boom! My favorite Italian leather straps. Fantastic. Out of Central California. ItalianLeather.com.
Italiastraps.com.
Italiastraps.com, excuse me.
So we got to get them. They'll make, so Tony, you get custom.
So one thing I'll do, that they actually will do custom. I go with set lengths. Do. I
go.
like a particular length all the time.
And
And
then there's
Steve goes
mine.
for something a little bit different. Look at that cream.
Cream. Yeah, and I like the suede back, and Tony likes the slicker leather.
Leatherback.
So they do all that stuff, and they cut them to order,
Okay.
which is pretty rad. So it's literally like whenever you place an order, you're getting a custom strap, and they've just been fantastic, super adjustable for me. I kind of like the adjustable because depending on what bass I have, I'll either put it in this one or this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes this one. So it really depends. Usually on my mood.
And since I usually play so many of the same size basses, I want that consistency every time.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it.
So
I don't even know which ones start and finish. I just don't know.
Yeah.
A grab, go.
Yeah, basically the nice thing is that they do whatever you want, and they always have a 2-for-1 deal. So if you go to italiastraps.com, go on. You have to click around, but they have a code for 2-for-1, which is
They
pretty
have a
fantastic.
lot of sales. And
Killer.
also, we got to talk about another sponsor for the show.
Yes.
Ooh, music area.
bags.
Yeah.
Oh,
We all love our bags. I need to get mine.
fantastic bags.
I mean, if Steve's gonna do it, I guess I'll run out too.
You got to do it too.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Here's the music area. Very
Mine's a little easier.
Super well. Yeah.
Oh, look at John, the sexy pose.
I like the socks.
Well,
bro.
John, everyone, show those socks again.
Show the
John.
socks, buddy.
Please, let's see the socks.
Hell yeah.
Star Wars socks. Han Solo and Carbonite.
All right, so he
Why?
gets in Bass Player Magazine and he gets
But it
fancy
is.
socks.
Boba Fett.
Oh, you
Awesome.
nerd.
Uh,
Do you think will I be able to convert Mr. Rajo to geekdom ever? No.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah.
I want to be, if I do convert, I will be my favorite Star Wars character will be, who's the one that's the most hated? That, what's
Jar
the
Jar
Star Wars?
Binks.
What?
Jar Jar Binks.
That one. I will get a big t-shirt with Jar Jar Binks. I will get socks with Jar Jar Binks. I'll get
I think you
underwear.
should do that anyway, just to see what will happen, because you'll probably make a lot of people mad.
Like I did with my May the 4th be with you, and I put up the Spock picture.
Sweet.
May the 4th be with you. Star Trek. So anyways, all right. So music area gig bags. All of us love the bags. We actually use the crap out of them.
We've been using them for over a year now.
Yeah, over a
I
year.
travel with this one.
Yeah.
I like this part.
See,
Yeah.
we couldn't figure out what that was for, but Tony, you figured out. You
So
used
I
that.
don't know what it's really meant for, but I know when I'm not a little guy and I'm on board in flight and I'm putting this to the overhead, I put my hand in here and I carry it out through that way
That's cool.
because I always have something else in my other hand. So
Mhm.
that's what I do. Or going through line and so forth.
And plenty of room for iPad, strap, a little bass head, a DI. Oh, mints.
All right, and mints, because
It wouldn't be Tony if I didn't have like something
awesome.
to eat or whatever.
And they just finished their new website, so musicarea.com.
yep.
There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
musicarea.com. You can order right from there. But man, yeah, we've been using them over a year, and before this whole quarantine started, we were traveling with them quite a bit.
Yep.
Quite a bit.
absolutely.
So they've
I've had this
held out.
bag everywhere.
They've held out really well. So that's what we're brought by. Musicarea.com, italiastraps.com. Boom.
Check them out.
All right. And how else are you boys doing? You guys doing well?
Yeah.
I had feta cheese pie, and upstairs I think there's another Greek dessert for me actually that I'm gonna be indulging in. So this is
What's the other Greek dessert?
I think it's called kharif.
Oh, nice.
Sounds-
I'm just going to catch up on some of my reading.
Oh,
Oh,
Guys, everybody-
John and our
Ladies.
how come we don't talk about this? And our own John Moody.
Yes.
so happy and proud, my boy. Yeah, that's our brother right there.
I should have
Moody.
had it actually like my finger already in there. But yeah, it is the June
Bass Player
issue,
Magazine.
396,
Wow.
with Daryl Jones on the front.
Woo! You're
Big
truly-
two-page spread of
What what month is that? Is that June, John?
it is June, the
Nice.
June issue that just hit, and talks actually a lot about all the stuff I do at GHS. So it's pretty exciting.
That's rad. Dude, that's
She's just
awesome.
the best.
Yeah. Super happy, man. That's awesome. Look at that. Our boy grows up and he grows up. Sorry. So, all right.
Thanks, guys.
I guess that's it. So, hey, enjoy Tully Kennedy.
Boom.
This is the Big Bottom crew, and we had a blast. And we'll put all the social medias for him. I know he does a lot on Instagram.
Yep.
And we got to give a big shout out to the Greek bakery that made that feta dessert.
Pastries in Peabody, Massachusetts.
There you go.
Go.
All right, so everybody enjoy the podcast, and I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to end the meeting. I'm not going to hang up on you guys. I know, right? I'm going to end the recording. So, all right, enjoy Tully Kennedy, Big Bottom crew.
Peace.
They just make them anyway, like they were holding them as we're playing. So
awesome.
we each took like, a line of the song. There's
Sure
30 of them, 40 of them. So
yeah.
But
Just remember that line. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
exactly.
Remember. So I just went ahead and started recording right now. So Tony will join us in a second, man, and figure why not? We could capture gold here. Who knows?
Speaking of gold, look at that Aguilar power amp right behind you.
Roger Sadowski just sent that to me.
Really?
Yeah, he was cleaning out the shop and showed up at my front door. I was like, "What is this?" And it was I guess he was getting rid of it, so threw it my way.
Those are
Nice.
badass, man. Those are great. Now those are, not to diverge, but one of my favorite amps all time is the original DB750.
Oh yeah, that's all I use. I still got two of those on the road, and then unfortunately I lost 2 of them in the flood here in Nashville.
Oh man.
So, but I still use like the DB680s, the pre for the studio.
Yeah.
I got 5 of those. I got one back there, and then I've got my computer resting on one right now. So,
Dude,
That's a lot of
fucking
amps.
awesome.
it's a lot. It's a lot of amps. It is.
It's a lot of good amps, though, man. Those were awesome. And Tully, meet Tony Puleo.
Hey, man, how
There
you
you
doing?
go. So we were just chatting about some of the stuff behind Tully. Well, I won't bet. That's from Saturday Night Live when they did the Petty song with
Right.
Aldean, right? That was with Jason.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, we'll do a quick little intro here since we kind of we're going about this however the hell we want to. This is Big Bottom, Steve Arajo,
John
Tony
Moody.
Paleo. Oh, sorry, John.
That's all right. You already said it.
and we're joined by Tully Kennedy, amazing bass player. Yeah, man. Thanks dude. Really, really appreciate you being on this.
You guys are awesome. I love this. I love talking bass.
Woo! Yeah,
John,
who doesn't?
nice write-up in bass player.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I just got that day before last, maybe.
You mean this one? I mean, who keeps that around?
Is that right? All right. Who's keeping track, though, right?
Exactly.
Dude, we need our signed copies. What the hell, man?
10 and 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Really good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Nice
very
to-
much. That was fun.
Yeah.
We're proud. Yeah, that's awesome, man. We're very, very stoked, man. So yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. And
Oh,
yeah,
there's one thing you can't see there. Hold on, John.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Oh,
Oh, yep.
There you go.
Nice.
Little set of boomers back there.
So
Right.
speaking of GHS, are those your main strings that you use, and which models do you use? What do you prefer?
Man, I love GHS. I've been
Okay.
playing GHS for a long time.
Nice.
When I was a kid, I was playing the boomers.
Okay.
A lot of boomers. John recently sent me in the winter on the end of our tour some of the round core boomers, which were awesome. But it's what I love about GHS. The company is consistent. Like those boomers feel the same as they did when I was 15. So in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So they're making a couple of different cores, John? Like there's
Yeah. I mean, the regular bass boomers are on a hex core,
Okay.
which is what, it's industry standard. But
Sure.
yeah, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we came out with the round core bass boomers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a lot of guys would say they feel like the regular boomers they'll use on stage, but then they'll use the round core in the studio just because it doesn't have that biting top end that they don't necessarily need for in a live thing. It'll just help cut through more. But in the studio, it kind of sits back a little bit.
Interesting. I'll have to try those.
Yeah, they're great. They feel great.
Oh,
They
very
feel
cool.
broken. They feel broken in right away,
Right.
which is kind of cool. No.
Yep.
I'm having a love affair. I keep telling these guys with the Super Steel GHSs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like those are my go-to right now, and they sound better the next day. I keep tripping out. I put them on, and they sound good. They were, but then the next day I'll play. I'm like, things just got more life. It's weird. Anyways, just probably me. I don't know.
It's
Steve, have you tried the progressives yet?
Have I? No, I haven't tried them. I need to, and I want to try the basics, and yeah, I want to try some other ones. But I found something that works. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so dude, okay, so you're in Nashville. You were on the road. Jason Aldean. That's your main gig, right? Jason Aldean.
Yeah, Jason's the main gig. Like, been recording and touring with him since we started recording in '99 as a band, and learning how to make demos with Jason. And it took all those years to finally get to where we are now. But
Awesome.
yeah, that's the main gig as far as road is concerned, and recording and touring,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a great ride.
Dude, I've seen some of the pictures, man. Some of the audience, it's just massive. It's just so rad. You're just like,
it is, yeah,
huge, man. Yeah.
It feels as exciting to me as it did when I was 8 in my bedroom pretending I was doing that,
That is so cool.
And what's great about it for us, we've been a band from the beginning. The vision always was to do what Mellencamp and Petty did, was kind of record with the band, take the band on the road. And then back in those days, it was different. I mean, Nashville was different back in '99, with a lot of guitars like that. Country music was different. It's one of the stories that it's been a really, really blessing to be able to do this with, the same guys for all those years,
Wow.
A real band where you guys know each other, and yeah.
Yeah, where you hop on a bus with your brothers, essentially.
Yeah.
And you have the arguments in the studio, you have the arguments in the bus.
Yeah.
But we're all still here, and people are still buying tickets, 20 years in, so that's fun. And we have a catalog of songs we can go out and play, even if we stub our toe on a single and it's not doing well. We've got 26 number ones at this point, or 25 number ones. So you go out and you play your, songs that people know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. So obviously with this pandemic going on, the touring stopped, but you guys are still recording, and you're going back to recording. And how has it affected you, basically?
Well, with Jason, we essentially we're in the first part of our tour. We lost the last 3 shows because everything canceled, of course. And then right now with Jason, we're going to be recording in the summer, I believe.
Nice.
But we've been doing, we also produce, me and Kurt, the guitar player, produce and write for BMG as writers. And so we've gotten some new acts we're working with. So we've been able to do tracks. I got a rig at the house.
Yeah.
And, so we get as much done as we can, like this, for now.
That's
and then
good.
In June, we'll be tracking. Jason's producer has a label, so we play on the records that he's producing as session players. So we still do that for Michael. So a lot of that in June. But yeah, just mosh posh of everything right now.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm glad. That's great that you keeping working and able to do that, and especially doing the producing and recording at home. What's your what do you got as a home recording rig? What do you use?
It's Pro Tools. Just get on Pro Tools and swapping files back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's been fun because I've had time to really dig into grab all my basses and sit here for a minute and be like, wait a minute. Okay, let's just go through every bass and see which one fits in the track the best. Because in the studio, you're grab a bass, you don't have that time.
Yeah.
Especially with Jason, we track really fast. His producer is all about feel, if it feels right. He's not a technically music producer.
Okay.
He's more like a Rick Rubin type, wherever if the vibe is right, you go with it.
Nice.
But a lot of times those records, me and Rich, the drummer, we'll only get maybe 3 takes tops.
Wow.
So it's grab your bass. if it sounds good in the cans and it feels good, you better be ready to keep it because Michael's going to want to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, but home, I can sit here and like look at waveforms and just get nerdy. So
yeah, and move stuff over left, right, or wherever. That's right.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's important to know. I mean, us being bass players, I mean, we're at the helm of where we hear everything most of the time.
Right.
And having that recording, I think that's an important thing to do. And all of us here do
Yeah.
our own recording at home. And I think it's just, it's fantastic. It's fun, man. And like you said, it's like, total nerding out.
And as bass players, like we have the torture of hearing every note, right? So like if the bass isn't responding, even for some reason, nothing more annoying than when a note is like not even, so you can sit there and like, obsess. And I'm a perfectionist. We all are, I think, as bass players. You're playing each note and you want to play it clean and you want it to be solid, which on a bass is like the most important thing for me on a bass is how even the instrument is.
Yeah.
Up and down the neck, no dead spots, hot spots, stuff like that,
I'm a compression freak because I want that evenness all the time. More so than these two other guys, I record, most guys when they go in the studio, they're adding the compression on the back end. I commit to it going in usually.
Right.
Yeah. I want that. I want to hear my monitors like a machine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the fun part of that is like every producer is different. Like with Jason, the guy that engineers our records is named Pete Coleman, and Pete did all the old Blondie records, the Knack, all that stuff overseas. So we still cut our records that way. Like we don't cut the Pro Tools. Okay. Pete is very like he won't. I don't compress in my end with him. He does it all in the back end. He doesn't want that. He's very particular about not being particular. If that makes sense. He throws some 57s up on the guitar rigs, and we go. And it like, and some producers want you to do more compression or not. I generally don't on my end, but I'm not against it either. So as long as it sounds good on the record, it's my main thing.
Well, it sounds like you're capturing a real live, like a live thing, like a lot of those old records were. You're not,
the moment. Like you have to
exactly.
be.
You're in that moment.
Yeah. And making Jason's records really is like I said, we cut to Radar, which is an old format. We don't use Pro Tools. So Radar, if I want to change say I hit a note I don't like in the chorus.
Yeah.
It's not like I can just go, like I'm at home and grab that bar. Like you got to grab, it's like punching on tape. Like you need a good in and a good out, right? Yeah. So you better do the whole course again, So you got to, it's exciting and with Jason in that way, but you've got to have it together like by the third take, And generally we don't know what we're going to cut till we get in there. So you're given a chart, a number chart, and you better create in between those numbers quick. But that's the fun part of it, the hot seat, And
then again, you're a band, you guys know each other. So you kind of know the isms, so that's, you guys really speak that same language, that family, which you don't see a lot of nowadays.
No, and it comes in handy in all facets, like the making of the records, the touring, living on a bus together, all that stuff. Even after what happened in Vegas, like getting through that together, it was like having guys that you've been with for 20 something years, be able to go back and pick up after that, and then, so it's all been great, very fortunate in that end of it.
That really was devastating. I can't even imagine, dude. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. It's
went through.
Yeah, and like I said on our text this morning, I don't mind talking about you guys. You guys are brothers in arms, essentially. So it's just a crazy thing. Like, and I think the most frustrating thing for it was like we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
we have inners in and a lot of stuff going on, and like it's just so confusing. And then the senseless tragedy of the whole thing is just mind numbing. Like why it doesn't have to happen. Why, But we were very lucky. You know, we all made it out somehow. You know.
Thank God, man. That's yeah. And it was crazy because I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until our text. I was like, oh, you guys were there. Like I just, you know, yeah. Anyways, so I'm glad you're well and
yeah.
must have been
Thank you.
yeah. So all right. So nerdy stuff. You guys got let's talk gear and nerd.
I want to ask one question
Tony
about
to bring up the DI question.
I know.
Before that, I heard the numbering system. So is Jason using the Nashville numbering system in the studio?
Yeah, when we go to make a record, so essentially like before we cut, there'll be 15 songs, okay, that he's got what we call on hold in town that he likes or we written or he's written or whatever. And we'll show up at the studio not really knowing what we're going to cut. Like his producer holds those pretty close to himself till we get in there and cut. So we'll show up and there'll be generally a session in Nashville's 3 hours.
Okay.
So we'll show up for the morning. We'll do 2 to 3 songs in that first session, whole complete songs. But we won't know until we get there. So there'll be a bunch of number charts sitting there. And we'll just start with song number 1. And that's how we operate here in the session world. It's like very quick national numbers. I learned that. I moved here in '96. And it's the first thing I kind of learned when I moved here to kind of play in sessions. So I picked up a little reading book on it and started to go to town, you know.
It's cool.
So, but that's how we operate here as far as that goes. Yeah. It's not like we set up and rehearse for a week, you know, like in the old days, rock bands, you know, or we had these huge budgets. We just go in and start playing these numbers down and try to get something that sounds cool, you know?
Yeah. And then how do you use the Aguilar stuff? You go direct, you got a ready, or what do you?
Man, I use my 680 DV 680, which they don't make anymore. It's a great pre. It's great. And then I'm right next to me. I've got like an old DB 900.
Yeah.
Old. I can't plug it right now, but it's right. It's old. You know.
Oh yeah.
DB 900s. In the old days, I would cart an amp in.
Yeah.
But now I split it between the DI and the 680 because the tube DI is pretty like gritty. Yeah. And the pre's clean, so it seems to really work out. And that's kind of our like. The fun thing about producing acts is that you can have total control over where the bass is and everything. When you hand the sessions done and you leave, it's in the hand, and you're not producing it, you know, it's in the hand of the other mix engineer for Jason and his producer. So I just want to make, and I have no really say over where it ends up. You know, it just, you know, on Jason's sessions, I play bass, you know, I'm not producing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that I've got my bases covered though with one sound that's a little more gritty, one sound that's clean, and let the engineer do their thing, you know. That's cool. And we have great engineers that work with us, so they, you know, they get what they need usually.
Yeah, I think you guys have some good people out there. Out in Nashville. Yeah.
There's a couple.
You know, there's a couple.
It'll work.
It'll work. But, you know, bass, you know how bass goes though, like if something's squirrely in the mix, the bass is the first thing to go down. Like if something's not jiving in the mix, like, so it's important that I know what I'm sending.
Sure.
My theory is if it sounds good in my cans, then it's going to sound good. That's all, and that's all I can control at that point, you know? But yeah. And that's where Peter comes in handy, making all those records all those years, how to get the bass to cut through the kick. When we first started recording with Jason, I was frustrated by Peter because he used so much top end, but then it made sense to me. Like when the record came out, I was like, oh crap, I can hear every note.
Yeah.
Even the ones that normally wouldn't make it are making it. So I get that. So.
And what are your, Tony and I kind of briefly talked this morning. We talked about and actually John, to all of us have a love for PJs.
Yeah.
And Tony was like, oh man, I was looking at Jason some stuff, and PJ, I go, yeah, PJ.
PJ, I got to tell you, like, and there's a lot of great basses out there. I mean, I've got that one here. I mean, I love them all, but the PJ thing has been I've been working with Roger since probably '99, Sadowski, and the PJ thing for me, it just works. Just with the way his preamp is on those basses. For me personally, I just got really used to that thing. And you know how it is sometimes being comfortable. It felt like his basses feel like Fenders in a good way, familiar, you know. But the preamp is for what I do and the way we record here, it seems to fit for what I hear, you know. But yeah, PJs I've always liked those, you know.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds for sure. You know?
Yeah.
It's in that, like you said, there's this sonic space, and take an old P bass and it usually will fit. It's not the most beautiful thing by itself, you know, and then the PJ kind of brings this other dimension to it. So yeah. And I find that if I need something different, I got some 4-string P, just straight P basses with flat wounds. Yeah.
And that covers that bass for me, that space.
Sure.
If I'm missing something, you know, or it needs to be a little more old school, you know, I have that to go to. I have just some, you know, sitting here looking at it's a reissue P bass I love from 20 years ago. Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah. And you just go, and it just feels right. The Fender thing is right for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know, it seems to work, especially with flat ones for me. I like that.
What are you typically taking on the road with you? Like, tell us about the stable you're using
on the road. I'm taking about 3 PJs, a 24 fret modern Sadowski, this G&L right here that I love. I've got that down a whole step, which really works for those pickups. Going down the whole step it's amazing. The fundamental's amazing. Taking a 5-string jazz and about 3 P basses. Got a couple Fender P basses and a Mulan P bass. That really sounds great with flat wounds. Like, it's just one of those things, just a good bass, you know. But I end up taking way more than I use, because at the end of the day, I'm sitting there with a trunk full of basses, and I'll play a PJ, then a tuned down PJ on stuff. Yeah. And then just for fun, I'll grab, make my tech give me something else. I'm like, why am I making him work this hard? You know. Mm-hmm. But it's fun to take stuff out. I mean, you guys as bass players, I mean, for some reason, it's a good thing. Like, we like to play different basses.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a serious stable. That's what they call the boats, you know?
The boat, yeah.
The boats, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had 2 boats for a while, and I had to stop the madness. I really did. 2 boats of basses. It was starting to become an issue with the production guys.
Nice. You're only playing 4 of these. Why are you bringing 20 basses?
Well, it's because I told him, I said, well, sound check, I want to play these basses.
Oh yeah. Surprise! Do you ever do surprise me? Just grab one. No, that's.
No. But sometimes I'll tell him my tech. I'll be like, and Brian loves his name. He's great. He's so patient with my OCD. I'm like, so on these 2 songs tonight, I want to play my 5-string P, straight P. And he'll start walking out to me, and I'll wave him off. Like, never mind, this sounds great. So getting a little silly, but
I
think
we can all relate. I think we're all like, we would do this.
Oh my God.
I'd probably do the same. Yep.
Absolutely.
Right. And just, so have you guys all been holding up well during all this?
Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got back into the GHS office last Monday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So last week was a very small crew, but then as of this past Wednesday, we're back up and running 100%.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we're still easing back into the thing here in Nashville. I think we're in phase 1 or whatever that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've still got a ways to go, but that was the new thing. They opened up manufacturing. And then I think Monday is when the big 3 auto companies fire everything up in Detroit again. So
nice. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
We're still completely closed down in Massachusetts, but it's a small state. New Hampshire and Rhode Island are starting to open up a little bit. So I'm like, yes, I can go get a haircut.
Yeah. Tony's going across state lines for a haircut. I never thought I'd hear that.
I truly am.
So I'm from the New England area originally. So I was talking to my dad up in he lives in Peterborough, New Hampshire.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
I did a gig in there in '96 because the Peterborough Playhouse.
Yeah.
Up there, yeah, I did a summer stock thing there.
Yeah. So.
Are you from there originally?
I am from Lake Placid, New York.
Oh, okay.
My dad moved to Boston when I was like 2 or so. So I've always, basically live across the Lake Champlain from Vermont, essentially. So I'm like an hour from Burlington, Vermont. That's kind of the northeastern tip of New York State, New England area, all that, up there. So
I used to gig up that Lake Placid area a lot.
Oh yeah, well that's where I grew up.
90s,
Yeah. Oh, there were so many places to play. I mean, that's where I started playing music when I was 14. I was playing out in bars at that point. It was like all kinds of places to play music. It was great. It's still kind of is.
Because you're driving up there, I'm like, where am I? I look like I'm in some enchanted forest. The next thing you know, you open up, it's like, I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is like Vegas in the mountains. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's funny. I'm the only one that's true West Coast, born, raised California, Southern California. So I'm like, man, I can't even picture back east, but I want to go back there, and
You're spoiled by the sun.
I am way spoiled. I am truly, I tell these guys that if it drops below 60, I'm cold.
Yeah, Tony and I send him pictures of like when we're working out outside, and we're like, it's an awesome day, it's sunny and 48. And Steve's like, nope.
Tap out.
6.5 months of winter.
I would die, man. I'm happy in 80 degrees, it's just nice out, but yeah.
Steve, it's called spoiled.
I'm spoiled. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. Very, very fortunate. I look at it that way. And GNL, where I live, Southern California, it's been a lot less stressful. I mean, we have to wear masks, but it's not, some businesses require them, but some don't. So there's nothing's really been super strictly mandated.
Gotcha.
LA is definitely a lot more.
Just
because of the population, and GNL, we started ramping up this last week, but before that we were pretty skeleton crew. So we were producing some stuff here and there, but we were pretty down. But fortunately, knock on wood, thankfully, everyone was healthy. So that's
good.
it. Oh, by the way, Tully, did you go to NAMM this last year?
I didn't. I'm always miss it.
Well, you probably got lucky this year.
Yeah.
Because literally, all of us have talked. All of us were there. Everybody was exposed.
Yeah.
To COVID.
Yeah.
Guarantee 100%, and a lot of us got sick afterwards and could have had some strain or whatever. So I know that just from everybody traveling, all of us were exposed.
I find it crazy that people left downstairs on stretchers.
Yeah, there were some. That downstairs area. Have you ever been out? No. Have you been out here for NAMM out in Anaheim?
I haven't made it.
Okay.
No.
There's another hall, right, that's downstairs, kind of for maybe the guys that are just coming in, lesser known, international companies.
Import companies, a lot of
import companies.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some people that were really sick there to the point where they had to call.
Wow.
So
I've got some friends out in LA that swear that it's been there a while,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure, but who really knows?
Who knows? Hey, we're all healthy, our family's healthy, and hopefully this is we're getting over it.
Yeah.
And we'll move on. So yeah. Thank God. All right, amp-wise, what is your go-to? Obviously Aguilar, is that your main?
Yeah, it's my main amps. Yeah, Aguilar. On stage with Jason, I used to have massive, like 2 412 cabs blowing, and now, but with the in-ears, we use Ultimate ears, in-ears, and they sound so great that I've got basically 2 single 12s behind me with a 750,
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I can feel it great up there, you know. And our stage sounds so clean now that it's really sounds great in the ears, and then feeling that through the amp. And I'm still a sucker for the 750s and the Aguilar stuff, and just like I said, I feel like I'm just really used to that thing now, and I know what I can get out of it. So the amp quest stopped for me many years ago.
That's one of the best amps that, like, for me, that's one of the ones that that original DB750.
Yep. They're great. And the original 412 cabs are special.
Yeah.
Oh, the GS series?
Yes. The original ones I had, again, I lost a lot of that stuff in the flood, but I had the like 3 original, you know, they're stacked up, and they sounded good. I mean, man, there's good stuff. So
are the 12s that you're using the GS 112s or the SL, the Neo, or the regular older one?
They're the older ones.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the DBs?
Yes.
The DBs are killer too. Ooh.
I've got stockpiles of the older stuff in storage. So I didn't lose it all, but I'm just, you know, I always go to the older stuff if I can. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm old. So.
Well, it sounds. I mean, I tried the Neo stuff, the SLs, and it just wasn't. It didn't float my boat as much as the GSs and the DBs. I just prefer those old ceramic ones. And that GS 112 and the DB 112 are, again, some of the best sounding little 112 cabinets. I mean, they kind of changed. They kind of changed the game for smaller, that compactness. I mean, I know there were other people making them and stuff, but that GS and that DB, I don't know. That was kind of a bit of a game changer, you know.
Yeah, before Aguilar, I went to Aguilar, I believe in like 2000, 99, 2000. I used the old Eden stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
They made those original ported cabs, those old cabs, the 410 cabs.
Yep.
With the Traveler 400, I think it was.
Yeah.
You know, the old stuff, great stuff. But I remember when I discovered Aguilar, I was like, wow, I just felt that whatever tone I was getting from my hand was coming out of that speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With heft, with like the 750 has this has this meat behind it, behind every note, you know.
They handled the low B string really well, and it felt tight. So for me, it was like, oh, this is cool. I'll play this, you know.
Yeah.
So do that.
What are you using for DI Live? Are you taking a DI off the head, or are you using this?
DI Live, I'm taking another 900 Live, and our front of house guy likes to split that with an Avalon, just because they're so clean.
Oh, okay.
So that, you know, my 900 with the Avalon, and that sounds great out front. Like, it really cuts through. Like, we got a great front of house guy. Chris Stevens is his name, and every year we try to make things even better. And I can go out there in an arena and I can hear even the low notes clean. So it's
nice.
You know, it's a nice thing to know that when you're playing, you know, it's making it out there. You know, that he can, you know, get the tone that he needs. He's great at making sure that the bass lives in its own space, you know, which is nice to not worry about when you're playing, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the stuff on the road is pretty simple. Like, it's just, these 900s are great. I take the 900. That's all I have in my in-ears is my 900. So this sounds really, really pure. I don't compress at all out there. I let them do it at front of house if they need it.
Sure.
But I don't want to squash it too much before he gets it, you know.
Yeah.
Out there, because every day is different on the road. We're in an arena one day, and the next day is a big shed outdoors, where the bass response is completely different. Yeah. You know. So him having that freedom is important, you know, to take what he needs that day, you know.
Well, and a lot of us, you got to, you know, we trust these things.
Right.
You know, that's that's like home base right there is this and this. Yeah. So you kind of know, you know.
Yeah. I call it your own personal sonic signature.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. You know, it's a good way to put it.
That's the rad thing about bass players, like you can give 10 bassists one bass and it sounds 10 different ways. And you always know who's playing that bass. Like, oh, that's Tully. Oh, that's John. Oh, that's, you know, and it's just rad. I don't know. I think bassists are my favorite.
I love talking bass so much. Sometimes I'll have these guys kind of DM me on Instagram, and they'll be like, "Hey, I love this song," and I'll be like, "Hey, call me up. We'll talk." I'll just talk to people I don't even know on the phone. I'll be like, "Hey, sure, Bill."
Nice.
Yeah, just nerd out, man.
I sound like us.
I love it.
We're all cut from the same cloth, I think. You know what I mean?
That's how we all started.
Yeah.
Tully. Like we all worked in the industry. Knew each other. And then at NAMM, we started getting so geeky about it that for like the last 2 years, we had the big bottom chat. And we're like,
which is great. It's great.
We need to take this to people. The other bassists want to know what we're chatting about. So
we have a text thread that goes back like 2 years where we're just like, dude, you try this? Oh, hey, well, and it's just talking shit, just whatever we want to talk about, nerding out on bass stuff, especially bass stuff, but. It's pretty funny, and we're like, well, we need to.
Well, it's because we're all we've got. Because if you go to a session, no kidding, they spend about 10 seconds getting the bass signal up. Okay, they'll spend 2 days on a snare. No shit. You'll come in and they'll be like, yeah, we're going through this snare, or the guitar players are trying different picks or something, and I'm like, you get 45 seconds to get your signal up and make sure the level's good. And so talking bass, it's all. Who else is going to talk bass except us?
You know what I hear the guitar player sometimes going, "Let me try this mic."
Yeah.
Right.
Move the mic a quarter inch to the other side of the cone. Let's do that. It's like, no.
20 minutes later.
Isn't there a comedian? Is it the guy that did Mr. Bean or somebody that did that, like a parody on that, where the drum, like you said, the drums take a fucking hour and then bass is like, okay, level, great, check.
Yep, it works.
Next. Like, really? Come on, man. Give us a little bit more. So we're like that's what it is. That's our lot in life.
So yeah, talking bass, and what else are we gonna do? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
What we first talked about brought us together was like just DIs. We're all DI geeks. John, right. Steve, and I were all like, "Did you try this thing? This does." Yeah.
What are you guys' favorite DIs? Oh, I knew it. I was just gonna bring that up.
Fuck yeah. That is the
Ready.
One of the best.
Ready, yeah.
There's a lot of other. The other one.
My live one now, which I just started using before COVID happened. It's just so I can mount it to a pedal board. Is
Oh fuck yeah! That is an awesome one.
That's a good one.
And then I love another A Design one is this, the KGB. That's pretty badass.
I got a KGB up.
Yeah. I actually should just send one out to you, Tully, just to check out.
That'd be great.
Yeah, mess with it because it's really good. But
the Readies are great. I've used those a bunch.
Oh man,
it's a great DI.
Yeah, it's like your 900. Just plug in and it just works. Like there's really just sounds good. And I can't define exactly what it is with the Ready, but I know that when I don't record with it, I don't like it as much, and I plug right in.
You ever do multiple signals and then take a look at what the Ready looks like compared to everything else in Pro Tools?
No. Oh,
the signal looks significantly different.
Yeah.
Like stronger?
Thicker, yeah.
Thicker. Interesting. Yeah. See, you're staring at waveforms.
Something with the harmonic content of that. And that's funny is the closest one I found that does that without a tube is the Neve.
I got to try that Neve. I got to check
that out. It was one of those when they gave me the thing to do the demo of, I was kind of hoping they'd forget about it so they'd let me keep it.
Well, I'm a Neve artist now.
Yeah.
So,
Have you guys recorded with the old 680s at all ever? DB 680s?
No.
No.
If you ever see any lying around sometimes on Craigslist or
Reverb or something, or
they'll be out there. Pick one up. Usually guys are selling them for about $1,000. They don't make them anymore, but
right,
they are very special.
Always hear good things about them all the time.
They're it's not an aggressive sound, and it's not like the 900 where it's like you're driving the tube, but it's like it's pretty good. It's got a really unique thing to it. I've always used them in the studios, you know.
You have a couple of those laying around?
Yeah, I've got 2 in cartage for sessions, and I got 2 here at the house. Nice. And I keep one, like, if I got to do like a home demo somewhere, a small session thing, I'll just grab it and go, you know. Again, just because I know what I'm going to get out of it. It's like if you got a piece of gear that you may have 10 pieces of gear lying around, but you know that one the best. You know what I mean? Whether it's a Reddy or whether it's a Countryman, or I don't, you know, some guys just are old school, you know, but you make it work. So
those Countrymen's work. They're good. They never. I mean, they're fine.
Yeah, it just depends what you're going for, what bass you're using, and you know.
But now I want to start hunting for one of those old 60s.
You know, I just had to look at something right here. Jeff Jenkins was telling me about. We've been geeking out lately about DIs. You know,
good guy. I known Jeff a long time.
Okay.
Jeff's a good guy. We've been he's been my pen pal lately. He's like, Tony, did you see this? I'm like, nice. Jeff, I got to bring you on the podcast soon, right?
So what is he? I'm not familiar. What does he do? Maybe
Jeff. I've known Jeff.
Yeah. What is Jeff? Is he?
He's a bass player, but he's I met him. God, when we first did one of our early tours, like in first headline tour, it might have been like in 06 or something. He was playing with an opening band. That's how I met him. But he's a great guy.
Cool.
Loves.
Super nice dude.
Yeah.
Super nice dude.
Good guy.
He's turning me on about the Acmes. I just had to bring up the picture, you know.
Dude, wait. The Acme is a rabbit hole. Dude, that's a fucking rabbit hole, because there's different iterations of that box. I've gone down that.
Steve warns you of a piece of gear,
dude,
instead of enables you.
Because there's these I forget what it is. There's like
he's got a couple of versions here that he's like showing me. He's like, this is the WB3, and
because what they did is they went back to the original box, and there's a bunch of controversy with which transformer they used. Was it a Lundell, blah blah blah, whatever, and different people. Yeah, it's a fucking rabbit hole, dude. I warn you. But it's fun because you get to learn the history of that Motown, those sessions, and this Acme box that they've been trying to reproduce. And I think that some of those transformers, like I said, I went down the rabbit hole a few years ago. Some are available, they aren't available. You can find them sometimes. Some people are reproducing them. Then some people say that they have the original one. So yeah, have fun with that one. Let me know.
He just gave me I'll tell you what, Steve. Yes. I'll send this to all you guys afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tully, I've got your email, so I'll send it. He gave me a big write-up about the AB and the testing and the differences between them. He just gave me like a book.
So he lives in the rabbit hole.
No, that's
dive down. He's already in it.
Steve's, I'm already in it. And I'm like, oh, this is deep.
No, it's heavy shit. It's the same as going, like going down the Fender, Leo Fender, like original. It's that rabbit hole, but it's awesome because getting those that's kind of rad. I think I would want one. I don't have one, but I'd love to get one with an original transformer from back then. It'd be pretty rad. Then I would sound just like James Jamerson.
Right, because that's all you needed.
That's all you needed.
He's all about that, the Fat Boy and the Rupert Neve design.
Okay, so the Fat Boy. Have any of you guys tried the Fat Boy DI? I've been wanting to.
I have not.
They're made.
I messed with it. I messed with it for a minute. It's great. I mean, I think over the past few years, I've really leaned on more of the bass itself versus the DI thought process for me. Because I feel like I'm so like it's like I'll grab my 900 or I'll grab something. So I'm finding that it's lying more in the bass that I want to play that day than what I could get out of a DI. Just because of the way we're making music today, like you're dealing, at least in our genre, dealing with more program type music. Less music is made, even with stuff we're doing, isn't like we're going in and playing live, like just there's loops there now, there's big 808 drops, there's popular music is changing. So even if I what I found is even if I capture the tone that I love out of a DI and a Pete bass with flat wounds, going for the old school thing, the way it's being mixed today will be manipulated into a sense that it may not be exactly what's coming off that DI, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may add a lot more to cut through the bottom of the loops and the 808s and all the sub stuff, the synth per se.
Sure.
So I'm tend these days when I record to grab the stuff that I know sounds great and then it's going to be manipulated. So I try not to like change a lot of stuff. At least then I know I didn't change it on my end. You know, like
that's a great way to think.
If I experimented, I'll do a lot of that at home. Like on my home rig, I'll grab new stuff and see what works and what doesn't. But when I'm on a session that I'm not going to have control over, I don't want to be caught in the middle of a track, not loving what I'm doing with no time to change it. So if I can't live with something for a good bit of time, I'll grab my stuff that I've been playing with. Like you guys have your go-to stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ready for me.
If you had if you had an hour to do a bass track, you're going to grab subconsciously, you won't experiment at that very second,
No.
So, but that's why I don't try tons of new DIs, but I love hearing the Ready I know is great. And all this stuff, like I'm learning, talking to you guys, like, wow, I didn't even know about some of this stuff. So it's awesome.
Come join us, Tully. Come join us.
I love it. I like you guys. I keep up with you guys now. I mean, I like all kinds of gear and all kinds of new things. So it's awesome.
We like trying to, but that makes so much sense what you just said, and I think it comes down to, again, your sonic signature starts with you, not the gear. I mean, obviously we're going down the deep end with gear. I mean, I remember, all of us can probably remember starting out, if you bought a piece of gear, it would make you better. It's like, no. Like I'm the one making noise with this thing, whatever this thing is. So yeah.
Have you guys tried out the dark glass stuff?
I'm an artist for dark glass.
So they sent me a bunch of, let's see what they got. What is this?
Toys. You got toys. Let's see the toys, Tully.
I haven't tried this stuff out yet though. What is this? The Alpha Omega Ultra.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
How was that?
Yes.
I'm running usually the B3K or the B7K.
Okay.
I have an Omega.
But I think, Tully, is that Alpha Omega? Can you put impulse responses on that? Can you do IRs in that?
I don't know. I had not messed with this yet.
Got
and
it.
I got one more thing. What else?
Yeah. Let's geek. Let's nerd.
This guy, again, you guys can help me figure this out. Let's see. This is the Microtube B7K.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
one of those?
I haven't messed with them. Yeah.
So I'm excited to get
using lately.
I'm excited to get into these things here. Seems like really cool.
Yeah.
Stuff. The quest for the ultimate bass distortion.
Boom.
It's still.
So Tony,
the
boxes that Tully has, that one, not the Alpha Omega, the other one, the one in your right hand. I think I can't tell if it's flipped, but yeah, is that that's the distortion one, right, Tony?
There's overdrive in both of those actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one's got a DI and so forth. So what I noticed about what I got attracted to dark glass a long time ago. I was on there, one of the first guys to start using this stuff. Actually, I knew Douglas when he's just first started getting on talk bass actually. So I jumped right on because I heard a bunch of big muffs and all this other stuff. I'm like, I couldn't. I'll just be honest with you. I have got nothing to hide. I couldn't bond with any, every time I heard overdrive on a bass, I'm like, this sounds bad, right? You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't sound like Getty 1980, And then with these guys, I found I didn't lose the low end, and I could dial down the overdrive. And I had this talk with Uriah Duffy. He's like, the same thing. He's like, people don't know is I use dark glass to get that overdrive sound. They're expecting it to go sound like a chainsaw. But these things, you can really just dial in a smidge, and your tone radically changes.
See, I've always used those old full tone bass drives, older ones, in the blue box. They were the first ones, I think. And what I use it for mainly is when I record with flat wounds on an old P bass, I'll put a little bit of grit on it, because the grit on flat wounds to me really sits in a track.
Yeah.
Because what I find a lot, like with distortion on bass, is it, even if I'm tracking it here at home, if I'm doing something heavier, solo it up and it sounds great. Like you're talking about, trying to get the low end to stay, sounds great. But when it comes to mix, sometimes it can be hard to get everything to sit right if the distortion isn't right on the bass. It's too much or not, or it's hitting the EQ kind of weird. So I've been looking, like I said, the full tone stuff has been good for me throughout the years, but I've been wanting to try that. So that they sent me this stuff. Maybe that'll be interesting little new flavor,
Well, I think that Alpha Omega, I honestly think that one will take, I remember reading somewhere that it'll take IRs, or you can put stuff in that, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does.
I'm going to check.
Yeah, check that. Do a little.
I think that's what Killian did. We put an IR in.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what he used for the
one of his last tours. He just used that.
So Tully, I think you can load some stuff in that and kind of get different, see what they have, or I'm not sure if it'll
interesting.
Yeah. That
Like a DB750 with like an RE20.
Whatever. Exactly. Yeah, man, that would be rad. What you said about the distortion in the mix. I mean, if you, for me, it's listening to those. I mean, James Jamerson. Like those tracks that he did. I mean, honestly, you listen to the bass by itself, it sounds like ass. It's like, oh my god! But then you put in that mix, and there's a reason why there's some of that distortion. Oh yeah, John, you got news for us?
Yes, you are correct. 2 distinct distortion circuits, extremely high dynamic range, 6-band active graphic EQ, headphone out, DI, and switchable digital impulse response cabinet emulation.
Dude, that's right.
Yeah, that's something else. I mean, I've heard great things about it. Great company.
Yeah. Oh,
cool.
Shout out Dark Glass.
Cool people.
Great. Absolutely.
And I always still love this guy. This is the Aguilar Agro.
Oh, yeah.
That's always done me right. That's fairly. It's a good, aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel cool when I'm playing it. But
it makes you feel cool. That
makes you feel cool, which I like.
Now, Telly, you going on stage when you go on touring? Are you bringing a pedal board at all, or is it just you are?
No, a pedal board. I have a Dunlop wah. I'll always love the wah. Michael Rhodes. You guys know Michael Rhodes is a great bass player here now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably just Michael Rhodes is like a Swiss Army knife of bass. Like he can play any style.
Absolutely.
But I don't think people know that. Like I've heard him play on modern rock, jazz, fusion. Yeah. Anyway, great. I owe a lot to that guy. Awesome. He got me into the wah, like back in, God, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe even more at this point, 20 years ago. But I like using the Dunlop wah. It's kind of smooth, transitioning from like the effect out of the effect. So on a live session, on a demo session where you don't have time to spend a lot of time punching in and out, you can use it on a bridge and come out before the last chorus, or use it on a breakdown chorus and not hear the transition from the effect to the true note, So I use those, an old Boss chorus I'm just can't get away from occasionally. An Aguilar, the octave pedal.
Yeah, it's great octave.
That guy right there. Yeah.
That's my favorite pedal of all time. And that's
those track really pure with the octave. Like it's
they do. Yeah.
And full tone bass drives. And I have a couple pedals. I have an EQ pedal on there too. If I'm when I play an old P bass that night, I'll just juice up the level with that. But not a ton. I keep finding myself taking little things and I'll change them around and try new things out. But, you know, kind of got my go-to sounds out there. And again, for me, it's about trying to be consistent night to night with what our front of house guys doing. I don't want to play new bass randomly and with levels or throw new pedal on. And because what comes out, like I said, like what I've tried to do is like what sounds good in your in-ears. And you could put this pedal on and then like, wow, it's just sounding amazing on this right here. But out in an arena with 18,000 people, it may not be coming out of there like you think it is. So what we do is we record every show, and then when he goes in the next arena or next shed, he plays last night's show to see how the bass is responding to that place.
Oh, okay.
I can go out there and say, you know, like on a bridge of some song, I tried a new pedal. When I go out there, I realize it's not translating right or at all or too much. So it's a constant balance, the live big venue thing, more than the old club days where you know what's coming off the amp is making it out 100 feet, you know. What's coming out of this giant PA in an arena going into the rafters can be different. So I always I spend most of my time tinkering with that, like going out before sound check and saying, okay, I need to turn up this effect here because I'm not hearing it, or I'm hearing it too much. So and that alters what you hear in your ears, but that's the give and take of big venue type stuff like that, you know. Because in the old days, you know, you guys, you know, didn't have in-ears. Sure. So you're still hearing your rig, you know, but now everything's so in your head that it's hard to tell how much you're actually gonna get out there, you know.
You have to trust your front of the house, man. You have to trust those guys, you know?
Yeah, and he'll tell me too, like, dude, that distortion's too much, or dude, turn it up a little bit more, and I'll be like, God, I'm killing it. He goes, turn it up more, because out here it's not. So it's constant give and take and that, you know, which is fun. I love that part of it. I love it, you know. So nice to have a guy that wants to get it right.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. A lot more fun in the studio messing with that stuff because it translates immediately to the track. Yep. You can really hear it. Like I love the Dunlop wah, like in a track. It just, it's so much fun. So I probably overuse it, but
no. Now I'm intrigued. Like, that's very.
Oh yeah, the Dunlop wah is like, it was the first one that I loved because it was like you didn't have to stomp on it to turn the button on and off. Huh. It's all it's just touch sensitive, so you just touch it and it's on. You release it, and you don't have to stomp on it. So, because what would happen is on an old wah, like you'd stomp on it and you could hear it through the track in the studio.
Yeah, you could hear
stomping. Now you just don't. It takes a minute to get like the settings right on it, the amount of wah, the volume of the wah. But once you get that magic spot, lots of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that a Wilkins bass back there?
Yeah.
I love Pat Wilkins.
Pat's one of the best. Shout out Pat Wilkins.
This is Wilkins.
DJ.
Ooh. When are you sending me that? Go ahead and send me that.
I will send it to you. Yes. Yeah, this is I have the 4-string, this one, and then I have a 5-string version.
Okay, I'm gonna take credit for something. You see how close that J pickup? I have a theory.
Okay.
You see where that J pickup is?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take credit. Me and Pat talked about that like 8 years ago. I said, you got to move that J pickup just a little bit in from the bridge because it's too tinny. Yeah, that's Pat. I love Pat.
Oh, Pat is
Pat's a buddy.
We had him on the show, and he, I mean, talk about one of the nicest guys and so good for this community. And the amount of stuff that he's done, man. He's, you know, with Schecter, LA Guitar Works, and he's finished for everybody, you know. I mean, Roger Sadowski, I mean, everybody. And
he does my lulls, all my lulls.
Yeah, and I worked for him when he first started the road tested stuff, and I actually have the prototype 5-string PJ of that, and then I have the 4. But
is that a white one or black one?
The black one is the 5.
So I had that bass.
I have it.
You have it. I had it. I had it for a minute. Yeah. This is a different black one.
I don't know. This one, I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I
Pull
saw
it out, Steve.
Want me to pull it out? I'll pull it out.
Pull the bass out.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Add a disclaimer. Oh, what's Tony pulling out now?
No, it's nothing like in the vintage. I thought it was going to be my new low, well, my new old low.
Oh, the PJ one?
But these guys have played this one.
It's just the TP5.
That's it.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, that's a killer bass, man.
This is the prototype that, yeah. And dude, this thing, it has weird anomalies here and there, but these guys have played it. This low B this is the one
That's
that
a good
I
one.
judge all low Bs on. You know, I have
And the neck contour of that feels good too. Yeah.
And I'm not usually a fan of 34s. I like the 35s. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I went with Mike Lowe, but I like that bass.
Yeah, those are the money like recording. Oh, well, you know Eric Halbig, right, Tully?
Very well, yeah.
Yeah, so Eric's my boy. I've known him forever. One of my closest
right.
friends. I did a couple of sessions for him, and I used that Wilkins, and he's like, dude, what did you do? And I just used the Wilkins, ready, sent him a wave, and dropped it in, and it worked great. So,
That's great. I love Pat. Pat's a special human.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
One of the nicest guys, and he's, he listens. Well, for one, he's a player, so he plays all this stuff. He knows what's up, but he listens to artists. Which Roger does, which we talked to Jim Bergantino the other day. He does. It's really great to have these guys really listen to what you would do or any one of us would do, and take it seriously, because sometimes we don't get taken seriously with some. I feel.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Best. He's repaired stuff for me and just killer. So.
He's good people. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So tell me what coming out of the quarantine and stuff, you guys are going in studio. Do you guys have any tentative dates set up or?
Man, I would venture to say that the back end of the tour won't happen.
Okay.
Just because of the way that this is, the way we tour is like big promotion companies. Live Nation does our tours.
Yeah.
And I think until everybody has a handle on what exactly is going on, I don't think you're going to see any massive events scheduled. And I think, so I don't think we'll be touring again until 2021, which is unfortunate, but we got 17 shows in the winter, which we hadn't toured in the winter time in probably 10 years, and randomly we decided to do it. We got 17 in, we lost the last 3, but I feel blessed enough that we got those in, because a lot of tours hadn't even gotten up and running yet. They were supposed to start in April, May. So yeah, the big venue stuff, the way we tour, it's like, until you see like, hockey and baseball and the sports, basketball come back, that's where we play, are those venues. So,
I thought that there was a tentative football was going to, I think September, they have some games where they're not going to have people in stands, but they're going to play and obviously take precautions, so.
I sure hope that we have some sort of treatment thing or something, so that we can get back to that. That's part of our, as being Americans, and our great culture is like these big events, right? And then hopefully we're going to turn the corner here. So
I think so.
But this is kind of weird scenario on this. My guitar player was talking to Neil Sean the other day, of all people, and Neil had he said, keep your eyes on this date, which is nice, but at the same time, like, well, that seems far away. He was telling Joe Filoni, he's like, watch 2022. He said that's when everything will be back to.
Sure hope it's before then.
I do too. That sounds like really, really far away.
I think it'll be before that.
Maybe 2022 is more the thing of everything is back 100%.
I think that's what that's what Joe said. He goes, I think he was getting at like everything the way that it basically pseudo was.
Yeah. Again, I hope it's before then.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some.
I wish it was like it tomorrow. I'm not afraid of this whole thing. You know. I
Well,
think
Tony, you have a gig next week, right? Starting up.
Well, it's a school studio. Yeah, I have sessions all next week, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's 7, 8 people in and out of the building, you know,
Right.
probably the most. You know, I want theater again, man. I want my job back. You know.
Yeah. I think if we can, even a treatment, you know, not necessarily a vaccine, but as a proven treatment, I think we'll get back. I just hopefully before 2022. That's not fun to hear.
I don't like Neil's prediction.
I don't like Neil's prediction either.
Yeah.
There you go.
Neither did I.
Down to Neil's prediction.
Big negative.
There you go.
Oh man. Well, cool, boys. Any other anything else? Can I wrap it up or?
Let's do this again. I love this.
Dude, absolutely.
Tully would love to have you on again. And we had, you know, it's great that you're a nerd on this stuff.
I'm a nerd. I can bring out some old bases and talk bases, and I love it. Just let me know whenever. You guys are great. So you guys are doing great things for the bass community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
It means a lot. Really,
I was excited to come on and do it, and
that's rad.
You guys know what you're talking about, which is a blast.
Well, I know that. I mean, I'm just happy. You know, you're busy, and I know every time I ping you and stuff, dude, you're always recording in the studio. I'm like, hell yeah, man. It's like, you know, that's awesome. I'm just so glad, and you know, it's obviously so well deserved, man. I mean, you're a great player.
Well, like you guys, we're all love talking bass and playing bass, and let's hang out when we can and do this again. And anytime we want to talk shop,
well, let's just do one thing, just in case.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on in January. Some people have talked about it. I'm telling this to all the different people that's sitting on. NAMM might be happening and might not be happening, but Kerry Nordstrand had a great idea. Let's do something no matter what.
Yeah. I'm in.
Cool.
Tell me.
Boom.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. And Tully, so where can people find you? Social media and socials? Do you have a?
I mainly operate off Instagram.
Okay.
So just Tully Kennedy Instagram, and you know, I love talking bass. I can't get enough of this kind of thing. So
that's awesome.
You know.
Well, you know, it's talking to, you know, experts, and you're just, you know, you've been doing this for a long time and you have so much experience. It's really awesome to, you know, just talking shit with you and talking shop. It's awesome.
It's a blast for me because just the ins and outs of it and the things that I know now that I wish I knew 20 years ago when I was starting to record, and the different dynamic of recording with different artists. And, you know, I remember recording with Jewel, and I remember being, you know, the way that she would work in that environment versus working with a different artist, you know, or, you know, it's like, it's fun. That's the fun part for me. Yeah. Figuring out what people need on their tracks and the parts and coming up with them quick, and the tones and the different gadgets that I don't always know what's new. I like get set in my ways. Like, so talking to you guys, like, you reminded me of the Ready, which is, I lost that in the flood. So I may go to another one because of that, just because, like, I forgot how much that sounded great.
Sounds good.
You know?
Yeah.
John, going with GHS strings is crazy, man.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Having a bass player bring new string ideas is like, it's not just somebody saying, here's some strings, you know.
Right.
So you guys are all great, man. Let me know whenever. So
thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's great meeting you.
You're the best, Tully. So at this time, I usually say we're gonna say goodbye to the public, but hang on, because that's when we really talk shit.
Yeah.
So Tully, you're the best. Thank you so much. We're gonna say bye to the audience, but hang on. Do not hang up. Big Bottom Crew, Tully Kennedy. Check him out.
Boom, 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 boom.
Goodbye, public.